Evening. Bow, 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 bow. Boom. Good evening and welcome to Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Right here on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis in Chicago, and the best music of your life. Chicago. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, officially checking in. Good evening to everyone who is checking in on bigsradio.com. Those of you who are checking in on the best music of your life.com. And those of you who are listening on the TuneIn app, the Simple Radio app, and the Radio USA app. That's a whole lot of apps, not counting our own app on the Amazon Play Store, which I can't seem to download for some strange reason. But I'm going to keep trying. Coming up in our last hour, we do a little thing we call foreplay, 4 songs by one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female. If you have one in mind, leave it here on Facebook. For those of you who are on Facebook, I see a whole one person. Oh, 2 people. And I'm sure one of those people is Troy, the Soul Pole Anthony. Once again, good evening. It's Bedtime Stories. Here's Gladys Knight. I got a license to kill. Hey, baby. This thing. It's to kill. To kill. A license to kill. Your sunlight. You got a license to kill. To kill. To kill. A license to kill. Kill. To move on me. I'll be that. A license to kill. Kill. A license to kill. To kill. Kill. It's gone. Personal. Take the bitter with the sweet. Good evening, everyone. No one's talking tonight. Let's see who we got here. Okay, no one yet. No one has commented yet, but that's okay. It's still early. I'll comment on myself. There we go. Pleasant good evening to everybody once again. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for joining me here in my new studio. It's still new to me because, well, it's still new to me. I'm still making improvements here in the studio. So, yep. What I do is I visit other people's studios and I watch theirs and see what they're doing in their studio. So whatever they're doing, I want to do it too. I want to do it too. I heard Al Greer is one of the Oath Keepers. What? Oath Keepers whose trial started today. Can anyone confirm? And good evening to you too, Troy. Thank you so much. Oh, you're so funny. You're so funny. Hmm. Preston Shanks, mourning the last of my mom's siblings, Uncle Virgil. Wow. Condolences, of course, go out to you. Jermaine Jackson, don't take it personal. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Sometimes you just have to take the bitter with the sweet, as he says in that song. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to Preston Shanks. He said he's mourning the last of his mom's siblings. Rest in peace, Uncle Virgil. Our condolences go out to you and your family. Hello to Troy Anthony. He said, I heard that Al Greer is one of the Oath Keepers whose trial started today. Can anyone confirm? Not the Oath Keepers. Anyway, coming up in our last hour, we do a little thing we call foreplay. 4 songs by one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female. I forgot what I was talking about last night, but it seemed to have disturbed a good friend and brother of mine, Sidney Brooks. So I won't talk about it tonight. Only because I've forgotten what it was. So we won't have to worry about me remembering what it was because, by me being a senior citizen, I can't remember. I got CRS. I can't remember the last part of it. Here's New Birth and Wildflower on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. New Birth. New Birth, New Edition. It's amazing that group didn't do better than they did. I think if they had been on Soul Train a few more times, they would have been, they would have been in there. But Troy Anthony, yes, that's him. Brother Fahim, what's going on, sir? Good evening and welcome to the Bedtime Story Show. Assalamu alaikum. You wouldn't happen to know a Dennis Muhammad, would you, Brother Fahim? Yeah. Dennis Muhammad. Yeah. He's a pretty cool guy, you know. At first, yeah, you do know him. Okay. At first, we didn't we didn't click until, he thought I was just dissing his boy. And I had to tell him, I'm like, look, is that a question? Yes, that's a question. Yeah. He thought I was trying to diss his boy, right? I'm not going to mention his name because, he's a boy. So we're not even going to talk about him. But once he found out that this guy, yeah, do for self man, that's him, yes. So once he found out that his boy wasn't his boy, that his boy was out for himself, me and him got along just famously. TC. So yeah, he found out his boy he wasn't good. He said he's just a ninja with manners. I was like, oh wow. So ended their friendship and their business relationship. It's like, wow. Now, I tried to tell him, but, when one guy talks about another guy, it always seems like it's jealousy. And it wasn't. It wasn't at all. Right. Well, Dennis started in business, yeah. But he and I went to the same high school together. We didn't go to, well, yeah. He graduated before I did, But I was like, man, I was trying to tell him about the guy, and it's like I was always taught that a snake will reveal himself. It's like that song, The Snake, the lady finds the snakes, takes the snake home, gets the snake back up to strength and everything else, and the snake bites her. And she's like, why'd you bite me? It's like, itch, you knew I was a snake when you brought me in the crib. I'm still a snake. Thanks for saving my life and everything, but now you're gonna die. You should have left. You should have left me. So, Dennis got the snake bite, but he didn't die though. But he found out that this guy was a snake. So that was it. So from now on, he's going to be listening to me. I hope. And I'm not trying to throw salt on anybody, because the guy texts me. He's like, "Why are you spreading lies on me?" I said, I tried to call him, and but of course he didn't answer his phone. And then he made a comment to Dennis, right? He said, "Yeah, I saw Al at the Shawlights concert. I started to roll up on him and do a Will Smith." I said, that was TV, brother. This is real life. You roll up on me, security is going to roll up on you. And it's going to take an 8-hour operation to remove my foot from your ass, okay? Don't let the smooth face fool you. People think because I dress the way I do that I'm a punk. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. No, sir. Don't let the smooth face fool you, please. You know. Remember that commercial with Billy D said, "Don't let the smooth taste fool you. This is malt liquor." Okay. So you know, I live in Inglewood and I get much respect. Okay. So don't ever think I'll back down from a fight. Now I got people standing behind me. You know, if it looks like I'm losing, they'll step in, but I may not need them. But just in case, you know, you know, just in case they will throw me something, to knock your teeth down your throat. But anyway, and I'm not even a violent person. I am not. I have learned my lesson about violence and pulling out weapons and everything else. I have learned not to do that. Now, unless you're going to shoot somebody, don't pull it out. Don't even show it to them. And even then, there are ways to get out of a fight. If you can't talk your way out, then then pull the pistol. But talk to them first. The pistol should be the last resort. And I'm talking about those who have their firearm card. That should be the last resort. So I heard Donald Trump has proof that Al Greer voted 748 times for Joe Biden in the last election. I know that's your boy too. But yep, he's going down. He's going down. And not downtown in a Range Rover. He's going down. And I'm not gloating, but it's like everybody who thinks they're what up, Will Jacks? Anybody who thinks they're above the law, you're not. Ask anyone. You're not above the law. Even when you think you've gotten away with stuff, you haven't. What's the topic? What's the topic? I'll come up with one in a few minutes. Give me a few minutes. That has got to be my favorite song. One of my favorite songs from New Edition, Helplessly in Love. I remember being in love and I heard that song. It was that and Real Love by Lakeside. Those two songs together would make me cry. I would be sitting in my office at work at Kennedy King College. It was that song and You and Me by Rocky Robbins. Carl Dobbins, what's going on? DJ Carl Dobbins and DJ Will Jacks. Man, I'm not worthy, I tell you. But at that time, I thought I was just, oh man, I thought I was in love. I thought I was in love. I'm like, finally, the Lord has sent someone to me that is my equal, someone who understands me, who shares some of the same interests that I share, like music and everything else. Brother Fahim, I'll tell you about his show the other night, off the air. That's PJ's Motown show over at the Peace Center, which is right around the corner from where I live in Inglewood. Yeah, I don't try to hide. I'm on the second floor, so But anyway, I just want to say that I was just so in love with this young lady. And everybody was like, all the guys were like, yay. And all the women were like, she ain't no good. She's not for you. She's not for you. I said, okay, all right. Okay, I get it. She's not for you. And I thought the women were jealous. Y'all just jealous because I didn't choose you. And the thing was, the women were right and the guys were wrong because all the guys were like, yeah, you got her. Yeah, man, she fine. But how many people know what's fine on the outside isn't always fine on the inside? They can look like Holly Berry on the outside, but on the inside, they like Chuck Berry. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Earth, Wind, and Fire, DJ Carl Dobbins, TC, DJ Will Jacks, Troy Anthony, Fahim Manure. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Here are the elements on Bedtime Stories. Now, Brother Fahim, I can tell you about PJ's party without dissing him on the air. He had a whopping 20 people there. Unfortunately, he didn't pack the house like he thought he would. I ended up, because Ray Neal got sick, so I had to set up equipment for him. So I went there, set up the equipment, came back, still nobody there. And I felt sorry for him because, I'd rented him out my equipment. So now he didn't make any money, so I can't charge him for what he didn't make. I know what you're going to say. It's business. But some people, sometimes you just have to say, okay, let me just, chalk it off as a loss, because unfortunately I had to rent equipment for myself because my speakers that I used to DJ with, unfortunately, they were in the car that got repoed a couple of weeks ago. So I couldn't do anything but rent equipment. So, because I had my backup system I had to set up for PJ. So unfortunately, once again, he didn't make no money. I was like, wow. So I can't charge him what he doesn't have. So that was the end of it. But it is what it is. As much as I preach, business is business all the time to other people, it was like, I'm just gonna have to walk away from this one. There was nothing to talk about after that. It's like, man, I'm sorry, brother. So yeah. You know what? I thought it was because I thought it was going to be good because, first of all, it was in the middle of the day. It wasn't like late at night. It was in the middle of the day. So they couldn't say, well, I'm not going to be in Inglewood over, after dark. Well, it started at 2:00 in the afternoon. So there's no way you could have been in Inglewood past dark unless you just hung around after the show was over. It's only from 2 to 6. Or 2 to 7. By that time, everybody would have been, back home by then. But I just couldn't understand. You know what? I didn't even think about that, Will. Damian Minor, what's going on? I didn't think about that till the last minute because the guy that I sent to Williams and Pizza rented me a system for $50. So, it was 2 tops and a sub. So I was straight. So I never thought, because my niece, she set everything up. My niece Ariana, she set everything up for me. She got him to fill in for me and got him to rent me equipment for $50 because it was me. Anybody else, I'm sure it would have been more than that. The system was good. He gave me two JBL tops and an EV bottom, real small one, but real powerful too. Latanya Lynn Garrett, hello there. One of these days, Latanya, you gonna call me and we go. I'm just saying. But like I was saying about the young lady that I was in love with, I was spoiled. I spoiled her when it comes to both speakers in his dating life. Al always prefers bottom. Leave it to Troy to make something gay out of it, but you know, my girl has checked in. Who's that, Latanya? I wish she was. How many times have you been involved? TC, I can count on one hand how many times I've been in love, but I couldn't tell you how many women I've been with. And I'm not bragging. And Brother Fahim can tell you, as a radio personality, we had carte blanche. People thought by me working for, GCI and all these other radio stations, they thought that was the closest thing to being in show business. And it wasn't. I said, in love with your glasses. What? Get your glasses. I've been in love, Latanya and TC. I've been in love 4 times. That's it. 4 times. My first one, my second love was a few years ago. And then one other person, and then, of course, my wife. And that's it. But Mike Finney. Mike. Huh? No, I'm doing bedtime stories. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm on the air every night, that whole radio thing.
Oh, that's right. That's okay. All right. So,
Uh-huh.
just give me a call are you working in the morning?
Absolutely. Every morning. Except Mondays.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
All right, sir.
Just give me a call when you got some time.
All right, I will.
All right.
All right. But once again, I've been in love 4 times. The first time that I fell in love was with my high school sweetheart, and her name was Rhonda. That was the first time. I wouldn't fall in love again a few years later until I met this young lady named Alex. I was sick over Alex. I was so sick that it made me sick that when we broke up. We got back together though. But of course, how many people know when you get back together, you remember why you broke up in the first place? So that was number 2. Number 3 was Tracy. And number 4 was Kimberly. That's 4 times that I've been in love in 35, 40 years. I've been in love 3 times, 4 times, that is. And that's it. It's a different feeling when you're in love than when you're in lust. And I guess that could be tonight's topic. I mean, I was sick, and I'll tell you about one of them. Tonight, I wanna love you forever. The 4 times, and tonight, I'm gonna love you all over. I'm gonna spoil your butt. I swear. Should Dr. Al Greer, this is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. TC asked me, how many times have you been in love? I've been in love 4 times. First time I was in high school, and her name was Rhonda. The second time was a girl named Alex. The third time was a young lady by the name of Tracy. And then this last time, of course, was Kimberly. 4 times. Now, Let me explain that. It's a different feeling than just being with someone. I've had girlfriends. Don't get me wrong. I've had girlfriends, lots of girlfriends. Was I in love with them? No. We got along, we had a good time, but they're not, but four women that I've been in love with. Now, the other women are going to probably be angry because they were in love with me, but I wasn't in love with them because at that time I was doing my thing, just like every other man does. I was doing my thing, my thug thizzle, and not realizing that there's going to be a woman that I truly love. And of course, she's not going to believe that I'm in love with her. Case in point, oh, there was another woman, and that was the mother of my older children, Alonzo and Chiquisha. And I told my son this story once. I said, being a player is not a good thing. It's not a badge of courage. It's not a badge of honor. When you make love to a woman, you're hitting her heart, not just her insides. You're hitting her heart. I said, so if you have no intentions of being with these women, then don't hit their hearts. You know, make sure at the beginning of the relationship that you let them know, hey, there is a slim chance that I won't fall in love with you. There's a very slim chance that that's not going to happen. So in turn, my son stays with this one woman, and he's been with her and had three boys by her, and he's stayed with her. And I don't think he has strayed from her. He took my advice. He stayed with one woman, and that's a wonderful thing. But as far as me being in love, like I said, 4 times, and that was it. Maybe 5. I don't know. But a lot of women, for them, you get feelings, but it's not quite love. But trust me, 4 times, four, and that's pretty good. 4 times in 40 years. So every 10 years, I fell in love. There you go. Here's the late great Aretha Franklin, our queen. This is Daydreaming on Bedtime Stories. Oh, yep. I've been in love 4 times. Now, I've been in lust many times. You know, I have seen women that I was like, oh my goodness, she is gorgeous. She is fine. You know, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot for me to stay in focus, first of all. It takes a lot for me to fall in love with someone. You know, for I am so picky, it's ridiculous. I'm picky, 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 picky. Now, lust, that's a different feel. Absolutely. Once again, I have been in lust. I have seen women lately, and I don't mind saying this. The alderman of my ward, of which I live in, she is the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen in my life. She is perfect. And I say this because I've seen her many times. You know, she may not be perfect for other guys, but to me, she's perfect. Or 2 other guys. She's thick. She's not fat. Um, she has dimples. When she smiles, her eyes smile with her. And, I don't mind saying that. But would I fall in love with her? Probably not. I would be in deep lust because of the way she looks. Troy said I already had her. You don't even know who I'm talking about. Say her name. But I have had, and once again, I'm not bragging. I've had many women in my life, many that I thought could have been it. And then there were those that could have been it, but I didn't care a diddly damn about them, as my mother used to say, diddly damn. Didn't care anything about them, but they had deep feelings for me, but I couldn't bring myself to be in love with them because that just wasn't in the cards at the time. I didn't have the same feelings they had for me. And unfortunately, it just didn't end well. Now, with some of them, I remain friends with. Go on, Troy. You had to Google that stuff, didn't you? And since you mentioned her name, she's the most beautiful woman I've seen in my life in a long time. And like I said, I've been with a lot of women and I've seen a lot of women. Um, what's her name? It's coming to me. Um, Actress Lisa Ray. When I met her, she was young, she was cute. Of course, she got older and she became beautiful, gorgeous, whatever. And she still is. Black don't crack and beige don't age. She still looks the same as she did the first day I saw her at her father's club, which was a place called the Fantasy, which was on 79th and Marshfield. And she was gorgeous then, and she's gorgeous now. Was I in love with Lisa? I was infatuated with her looks, as I am with Stephanie Coleman. But looks only take you so far. I would have to sit down and have a conversation with you and see where your head is at, you know. And I've heard things about her from other people, but to me, it's like, okay, I hear you, I get it, And depending on who's doing the dissing, whether I believe it or not, it's like, nah, bro, I think it was you, you know. But a lot of stuff that I see about, that was said about her, I kind of get it. I remember the inauguration, which was at the Wintrust Arena a few years ago when she was elected 16th Ward Alderman. I had been doing her commercials and everything, so we spent a little time together in the studio brainstorming about her commercials. She did, radio commercials and all that stuff. And, she ended up winning. Not that I'm taking credit for any of that. Trust me, she won on her own merit. So, it wasn't the great commercials that I put together for her, even though I'd like to think some of them were pretty, you know, pretty cool that I came up with. I wish I had some of them. But, she won on her own merit. People recognized who she was. And, at that time, the alderman of this ward who replaced Joanne Thompson was not quite doing the job, as it were. So, Stephanie swooped in and, and won the nomination for alderman. And, like I said, I think she is, one of the most gorgeous women I've seen in my life. Now, once again, you know, everybody's not perfect. You know, she's close to it. She's smart. You know, I've had women who were not as attractive, but they could do mathematics in their head. I'm like, oh, okay. But they weren't that cute. You know, they could, and I know she doesn't listen to me, but I'd say this. They could do your taxes in a couple of hours, but they just weren't drop dead gorgeous. You know, they were passing. They were cute. They were nice looking, but they weren't fine like Stephanie Coleman. Now, what's going on? Chef Greg, having fun. On the other hand, there was a young lady I met years ago. Nobody showed up to her party one year. And I thought she was the most gorgeous chocolate gap toothed girl that I'd ever seen in my life. And smart. And I ended up marrying her. And I got kicked out anyway. So somebody said go with whomever likes you and not whoever you like. If they like you, then you should stick with them. I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense, but okay. Sometimes you can learn to love somebody. And looks aren't everything, right? I beg to differ. That is my girl. Selena Johnson, if you play your cards right, that is her version right here on Bedtime Stories. Your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Earlier, TC asked me how many times I'd been in love, and I said 4. 4.5. You know, I've been in love, been in lust many times. I've seen a lot of women that were just drop dead gorgeous, but I wasn't in love with them. You know, there's this one I thought I was in love with because she was so pretty. She was so pretty. And we complimented each other because we were of a certain age, but nobody, could tell that we were of a certain age. You know, we looked like, we both could have been in our 30s and 40s. But of course, that didn't work out either. So, like the doctor told me one time before I bent over and took a shot, it said, the doctor said, everything that glitters is not always gold. And I'm beginning to realize that as I get older. Here's Earth, Wind, and Fire on Bedtime Stories. DJ Carl. DJ Chef Greg. Chef Greg. Mm-hmm. But Troy, yeah, you hit it on the head. Stephanie Coleman, she is, she's all that in a bag of chips. I tell you, she is drop dead gorgeous. She could probably be an actress. She could probably be an actress. I could see her on stage or in a movie or something like that. Yeah. Kanisha said, you marry a lot of females, but you sure have your picks. A sure ladies' man. I've only married twice, Kanisha. I've only been married twice. Now, I've been engaged several times. I was engaged a whopping 5 or 6 times. Did I marry those young ladies? No. I only married 2 of them. The first one was a very short engagement, as you well know, Kanisha. And of course, that ended in disaster. And the second one ended in, yeah, more disaster. So, yeah, I know how to pick them, don't I? Yeah, yeah. One of them left me, and the other one kicked me out. So, but my thing is the heart likes what the heart likes, or the heart wants what the heart wants. And, us guys, how the engagements are called after the women met Al in person. Ha 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 ha. That's funny, Troy, because you were at my first wedding, weren't you? My first marriage, weren't you? Yes, you were. So, yeah, that was the first one. And it was funny because they didn't expect me to come out. Yeah. So when they saw me come out, everybody clapped. I know, poor little Tink Tink. Yeah, right. When I first, when I came out with my son, who was my best man, everybody clapped. Reggie Hill, what's going on, sir? Because they weren't expecting me to go through with it. So they all like, dang, he showed up. Because I remember that day, my van had broken down. It would not start. It was the fuel pump, and the fuel pump was inside of the gas tank. So they had to drop the whole gas tank. But anyway, they were clapping for you. The Red Wings had scored a goal. But you were there, Troy. Troy was at my first wedding. There are pictures of, he looks like Casper the Friendly Ghost in comparison to the rest of us. So it's like, you know, but that was my, you know, and I really thought that I was in love with this lady. But in reality, I just tolerated her because I thought she was gorgeous. But how many people know that all of this can be gone? All of this can be gone in the twinkling of an eye. Now, the young lady I was with before my wife, my first wife, could cook, um, knew how to keep a clean house and everything else. What I missed? You getting married again? Absolutely not, Reggie. That'll never happen. Never. So the woman that I dissed to get married, I'm surprised she's even talking to me or allowed me to stay alive. But anyway, but that was it. So I threw all of that away for what? You know, just for nothing, right? This is really the love hour, yeah. But I could have, I could have had anybody that I wanted to, you know. I settled on this young lady. I settled on her because I thought I was in love with her. And I fought tooth and nail to get back with my first wife when all I had to do was just leave her alone and she would come back to me. But when it came time for her to come back to me, I didn't want her anymore because of everything that I had gone through, you know, jail time, probation, all of that. wasn't worth it. So I was like a wet dish rag. I was just wrung out. I'm like, I'll never do this again. Never say never, right? I turned around and got married again. Different situation this time. So the first situation was I didn't know the young lady. I didn't know her from a can of paint. I didn't know her. You live and you learn, but just know that looks aren't always a good thing in the long run. You're absolutely right. Because the young lady that I left behind to get married should have been the one that I married. And I should have left my wife behind. But once again, I was hung up on looks. And looks couldn't cook. Um, looks wasn't a nice person. She just wasn't. Looks didn't care anything about me. Otherwise, looks would not have sent me to jail. So I guess, to use a word that somebody else used on me a few months ago, karma. So yeah, I got, if you live long enough, that karma will take care of everything that, was taken away from you, you know. Like the preacher was saying a couple of Sundays ago, if you pray, don't worry. If you worry, then don't pray. So I stopped worrying about things that I cannot change. And I accept those things. And that's it. And that's what happened. I was on probation, 14 months probation, had to go through 130 days of community service. I had to go to anger management classes. Right. Like I was really angry. Had to go through all of that stuff just to, and even then I tried to go back to her. This here with me. The side of town. DOJ, your body's here with me, but your mind is, well, it's elsewhere. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Bedtime Stories, of course, is brought to you by our good friends over at Grubhub. It's time to do the delivery dance, y'all.
Get the food you love with perks from.
Sponsored by Grubhub. That's right. Ken Watlington, what's going on? AG Entertainment and Friends. Yes, that's us. It's Bedtime Stories on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis in Chicago, and the bestmusicofyourlife.com, a radio media station. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. And of course, I had my station first before all of them. Yes, I did. I just had to say that, but I don't mind being on their stations because, well, they were on my station at one time. I was trying to get Ray Neal so bad to be on my station. Instead, he went with someone else. And then finally, he was like, Uncle Al, you tried to tell me about that other guy with his radio station. I said, people think I'm throwing salt on other people. And I just simply say the truth. In the words of Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. It's Alexander O'Neill, the first of two in a row on Bedtime Stories with the peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, a.k.a. Jack Nicholson. It makes me happy. When I'm next to her, for her love. Oh. Puts out my sunshine. A heart of gold. To get me down, I call my sunshine. Ken Dub, what's going on? Ken Dub in the house. I'll be right back. I need to get some more tasty beverage. He's back. I left my TV on and everything, watching Cartoon Network. I got a cartoon mind, baby. Reggie Hill said, "Are you getting married again?" Oh no, my brother. I am off that narcotic. Trust me. Mm-mm. So what's up, Ken Dub? I was going to ask you if you still had those vehicles sitting in your front yard or in your driveway or whatever. I'm like, by this time, they're probably no good. It would cost me more to get them started than it would to pay for them. Although it would be nice to have that van, though. You know, I kind of miss my vans, you know. Yeah, I really do. Oh, ooh, the Blob. How many people remember the Blob from BJ and Dirty Dragon? It's like Dirty Dragon became the breakout star in that whole show, you know? The BJ Dirty Dragon Hour. Dirty Dragon got so damn popular. He got top billing over BJ. You know, the Dirty Dragon and BJ show. And then the Giggle Snort Hotel. Giggle Snort Hotel. Yes, those were when cartoons were cartoons, I tell you. Cartoon Town with BJ. Any man who would call himself BJ, it had to have been good, I tell you. What's your name? I'm BJ. Nice to meet you. Mike. Nice to meet you too, BJ. BJ, yeah. You know, that's got to be a man who is very confident in his skin to call himself BJ. You know. How many people know you remember the comedian Tim Allen, you know, the popular comedian turned actor on television, you know, that guy. Speaking of cartoons, I heard Al Greer was the original voice for Steamboat Mickey. The van would be costly to bring up, but the wagon least costly. Okay. Yeah. I found a Dodge. It's like a Dodge Caravan or whatever it is, but it's an older model. But the lady wants $300 for it. And she said there's nothing wrong with it. It just needs brakes. I'm like, that's it? It probably needs an oil change too, because it's been sitting up. So the oil is probably if you drive it, then the oil will probably circulate, but it's been sitting up. So a friend of mine, he's going to fix it for me. That's going to be his project. Alexander O'Neill and Sentimental right here on Bedtime Stories. That has got to be one of my favorite songs by him. When those strings come in, that's it for me, man. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to Ken Wadlington, aka Kenny Cool Cat. Thanks for joining us here on Bedtime Stories and on Facebook Live. Now, if you're watching me right now on Facebook Live or YouTube, it means I forgot to go on Twitch. Now, Twitch doesn't bother me about the music. It's just Facebook and YouTube. YouTube will shut me down for the music. No matter how many times I say I do not own the rights to this music, it is just for entertainment purposes only, and they'll still shut me down. Yeah, but that's okay. Anyway, coming up in our next hour, we do a little thing we call foreplay. That's 4 songs by one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female. Here's M2May and Juicy Fruits right here on Bedtime Stories. Let that man in. Juicy fruit. Just what year caravan? That's probably a good deal. Flush the radiator, oil change, gas, conditioner, maybe all it needs. Yeah. I forgot what year it is. I think it's like maybe a 2000, maybe a 99 or a 2000. It's before they, made them a lot bigger. So, but if it runs, cool. I'll use it just to haul the equipment, or let my better half use it to do catering in it. So that'll be it. But find out what year it is. But I think it's like a 99 or a 2000. So it's the older model ones, where everything is not electric. You just still have to yank the door open. Not these new ones, boy. You just press a button and the chair knocks the thing off. It keeps knocking over my windscreen. Leave my windscreen alone. I paid a whole, what was this, $15 or something for it? And it looks like it belongs on the mic. Keeps knocking it down. I don't understand. There we go. There we go. All right. Kanisha, did you put the bed frame together with your new mattress? No, I did not. Nope. All right, I'll do you a favor. I'll sell you my Mercedes C230 for a mere $35,000. Just pay the $3,400 up front, and I'll take the rest in payments. If I had that kind of money, boy, I would have got my own car back. Oh, no. And no, I did not. I did not put the bed frame together. I am not... Well, I'm not going to say that I'm not, but I'm not mechanically inclined. I'm not a handyman, none of that stuff. So the last time I did that, I had a water bed and I put it together myself. And it took me, because I had to get the water conditioner and pour the water conditioner in there and put 25, 30 gallons of water in it using a hose and that whole thing. And of course, I put the whole bed frame together myself. That was back in the day. I was feeling, I felt like doing it back then. But now it's like, it's still up against the wall, And that's it. But no, I did not. Like I said, I'd rather have somebody else to do it. But it's just like the banister. That's never going to get done either. So I paid someone half the money to get the materials for the banister, and they never put it up. I'm just saying. So it's still up against the wall, but if anyone wants to come over and put it together, I'll be ever so grateful. It's a lot of men who don't do that task of nature. I don't, I'm not a big sports guy, you know, and you know, that's what made me a great husband. I wasn't a sports fan, you know, where I had to watch the football game every Sunday. I wasn't handy around the house, but I could put together a mean entertainment center. That's right. Speakers all over the house. And of course, it's still in the house that I used to live in. So I had to start all over again, make it bigger and better. So that's it. But no, I'm not. I'm not that handy man type person. I'm just not. And I would rather not do it because I would rather not mess it up. It'll be my it'll be my luck. I jump in the bed and I get hit in the head by the headboard and knock myself out. So I ain't gonna do it. I ain't. Plus, I don't have time to do it. I have enough time to get in here, eat something, and do my show, and enough time to go to bed, get up, and take my niece to Glenview tomorrow. She has to be there at 9 o'clock. I, I don't have to be at work until 11, but I have her truck. So therefore, guess what? I am the chauffeur. Now, I don't like a lot of the new music, but that's one of those songs that I do like. Then, of course, the Barkays and Choosy Lover right here on Bedtime Stories, which takes a sample out of Juicy Fruit by M. Tume. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. And this is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Yep. And of course, coming up in a few minutes, we're going to do foreplay. Sing, Robert Glasper. I forgot there were lyrics to this song. Hello to Kenesha Fox. Thanks for checking in to Facebook. Also to Troy Tyler, who's trying to sell me his Mercedes. Brother, I had to file bankruptcy just to get my car back, and I still don't have it. But, you know, nobody would help me get a loan. Absolutely nobody. A few years ago, a friend of mine, he lost his car, and he said if everybody gave him $1 of all the friends that he had on Facebook, he could get his car back. My name isn't Troy Tyler. Did I say Troy Tyler? My bad. Troy Anthony. My bad. So Troy's trying to sell me his car once again. And Troy, I can't get my car back. Nobody would help me with a loan. Absolutely nobody. So I did the bankruptcy thing. So I hope to have it if they didn't sell it. So Michael Sugar D. Richardson, I'm sorry for your loss, brother. I would have been there on Saturday, but unfortunately, I couldn't make it. And I have no excuse, brother. But condolences go out to you and your family, brother. But it's good to see you. It's good to see you on my Facebook Live. Troy Anthony, not Troy Tyler. Troy Tyler is the female. Troy Anthony is the female impersonator. Here's the first of two in a row from the Barkays. Well, actually, this is number 2. So this would be 3 in a row from the Barkays, right? Sugar, 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 sugar D, y'all. And it don't stop. Look at my mic, man. Look what I got. Look. Ain't that cool? What kind of mic is that, man? It's the EV. What's the number on it? It's the EV RV 320. State of the art, yes. That means you don't have any real friends. You're absolutely right, Kenesha Fox. I don't have real friends. You are absolutely positively right. You got that right. And yes, it is a good mic. I love it. I love it. Not that I didn't love my Sennheiser. I use that at work. I use this one at home. It replaced my Audio Technica 2020, which I gave away to one of my nephews. Why'd I do that? Because he'll probably never use it. And of course, I got the Rodecaster Pro. That's the first one. And then I have Mackie monitors on either side on stands. So they're like up here above my head. So you got to get over here, Mike, and check out my setup. So you can laugh at my setup. Like, look at the baby mixer. Come here, little mixer. You know, anyway, you talk about my stuff. So he's like, look at the girly mic. I got a big mic. You know, so anyway. But yeah, you need to come on over here, man. I'm in Inglewood. You know, and I ain't ashamed. Oh, you got 1 and 2. Okay. Go on with your Rodecaster. I got this one for $400 on what was it? Facebook Marketplace. So yep. Facebook Marketplace. So and I love it because I can Bluetooth my phone and everything. I don't have to, plug it into the board. All I have to do is just hit the button and it Bluetooths it automatically. Isn't technology wonderful? I was going to get another one for like remote broadcast, but it's like, how many remote broadcasts do I do? I got a regular mixer for that plugs into the computer, so ain't no big deal. I know, right? Speaking of which, where are they? Beats. Now, for some strange reason, these won't work. I've changed the batteries, and they still won't come on. So here I got expensive paperweights. So these are my headphones, Mike. The industry standard, the MDR 7506, which I got from a pawn shop. Yeah, go figure, right? From the pawn shop. The guy said, give me $30 for them. I'm like, you want me to give you $30 for these? Ooh. I had to grab my own mouth. I'm like, man, do you know how much these headphones cost? Of course, I put my hand over my mouth before I said it. And I had to soundproof the room, You've had to soundproof it. Now I got those. I got another pair of Beats. Um, yeah. You bought your the SM7B. I don't like those mics. I see them in the pawn shop, but I don't. I just don't like them. You know, it's like I see them at different radio stations. They said that Michael Jackson used that mic to record Thriller with. I'm like, I'm just not a fan of those. I'm just not. You know, I love this EV mic. The ones that we have at the station, the silver ones, I love those. It's just that everybody has been putting their mouth on them, and I'm like, I'll be damned if I put my mouth on one of them mics, especially with this pandemic going on. Oh, hell no. So I have, you know, I take my own mic to work. Now, the EV came in a case, but I used the case to put my Sennheiser in so I could cart my Sennheiser back and forth to work. Because before I was putting my Sennheiser in like a little bag and wrapped it in plastic and all that stuff. Well, you know, right, you have to use a booster unless you use the Rodecaster. Because the Rodecaster has a setting on the board for the M7s. But I still don't like the M7s. So, but I'm just not a fan of those. The response on them, if you don't have a mic processor, which I have the Symmetrics voice processor 528E, which I borrowed from WVON. As a matter of fact, half this stuff in this rack was stuff that they didn't use when they came, you know, from 87th Street. Everything else, you know, they used. But yeah, you know, they're still not hot enough on the Rodecaster Pro. I know. With the Rodecaster Pro, yeah, the two, you don't need anything, but they just don't, they don't sound good unless they're processed. You got to process the hell out of them. Otherwise, it's just, you know, they're good for, you know, basic recording, but they have no, they just are flat to me. You know, they're just flat. No high end, no low end. Even with the cutoff switch, it doesn't, they still sound, that's just me. I guess you could say that was 3 in a row from the Barcades. Your Attitudes, Anticipation, and before that, their new one. The Barcades got a new song out? Yes, they do. As a matter of fact, I was listening to, what's that station, V103 today? And I was like, wait a minute, who's that song by? They said, here's the latest from the Barcades. I said, the Barcades? Excuse me. Yeah, Son of Shaft, you know, Sang and Dance, that's the B-side. You know, Holy Ghost, Shake Your Rump to the Funk Barcades. I'm like, oh, okay. They got a new song out? Okay, all right. Produced by Jazzy Faye, whose real name is Phelan Jones Jr. Well, I'm sorry, I take that back. His real name is Phelan Alexander. Yeah, Hit and Run Barcades, yeah. Phelan Alexander is the son of James Alexander, who is the sole member, the one who didn't get on the plane and didn't, you know, die in the plane crash with Otis Redding and the rest of the guys. So the Barcades are back. I'm glad too. Lawana Trailer, thank you for checking in to Bedtime Stories on Facebook. Coming up in 28 minutes, it's Foreplay. Mike Sugar D. Richardson, my longtime friend, long time, when we were both skinny, is Miss Chalet. And had hair too. But yeah, those shores are they just flat. It's just, no high end, no low end, just a lot of mid range, you know? I just can't get into them. Yeah. I just can't, I can't get into those mics. Now my Sennheiser, oh man, woo! Sennheiser make me sound like Frankie Crocker and all the rest of them. Jerry Bledsoe, Von Harper. This one here, same thing. But what is this? Oh, I didn't request a password. That'll probably be my next purchase. This one here. Now, this didn't come with it, but it looks like it, and it attaches right to the mic. But I got this on some website, Pinterest or something like that. What's going on? Russell, shake and bake. What's going on, sir? But I love this mic. I really do. And they have these over at V103. Not that they have any voices over there to talk on them, but they got them. So let me not talk about them. They're probably listening to me. Oh, he'll never work here. Good. We'll never hire Al Greer. All he does is rag on us. I said, yeah, with your 20 commercial playing jokers. 20 commercials in an hour and like 4 songs. And all of them by Chris Brown and Drake. Sorry, I call it like, and it's cool. They get paid off of them 20 commercials an hour. They play 10 commercials and then they play music. They play two, 3 songs, maybe 4 songs in an hour, and the rest are commercials. I drove all the way to work and I heard 2 songs. The Barkays' new song. Oh, I take that back. I heard 3. Whitney Houston, Bobby, Chris Brown and Drake, and the new Barkay song. The rest were commercials. By that time, I was at work. The Rode, the Rodecaster, their mics are great. They did some homework. Yeah, Rode makes some good mics. They did some homework because they sound almost as good as these. Because I've seen all of, it's the same design. It's just a shorter mic. But they did their homework on those mics. I'm like, okay, all right. So yeah, those are pretty good sounding mics. Very good sounding mics. Yeah. But if I ever, if I ever get the station back, I'm going to put the Rodecaster mics in there. All right, Mike, keep in touch, man. I need you, come on over and check out the studio, man. You might like it. You know, you might want to broadcast from here. I don't mind, as long as it's not between 9 and 12 Monday through Wednesday. Yeah. Yep. You might like mine better. I'm just saying. But peace out, man. Yep. Keep in touch. Yeah. Take care, man. Take care. You know what? I don't know why I do this. I torture myself. It's like every time I go on Facebook, I get pissed off. And I'll tell you why. I just get pissed off every time I go on Facebook because I see people, I see dead people. I see people you know, I see comments that people make, about and females that make comments about men and what they don't do and they all dogs and this, that, and the other. Um, my thing is you don't want a man. You just don't. You don't want a man. I see that all the time. They always with the man bashing. I'm like, try me. There was a young lady, I'm not going to mention her name. She was man bashing all the way up until the time where she got a boyfriend. Now it's like every other day. She posted something about her green-eyed boyfriend. I'm going to say it. I'm like, I ain't mad at you, girl. Bless your heart. I'm happy for you. But before that, she was like, oh, and y'all of this, and y'all say what you want and mean what you say, and, say what you mean. And, now it's like, oh, me and my boo, oh, he's so handsome. Oh, he's like, okay. So I get pissed off by that. I'm like, I even asked her out once, and she said, oh, no, Al, it wouldn't work out. It wouldn't work out between the two of us. No, I can't do that. No, okay, all right, cool. So I guess no grapefruits for me. But anyway, that's how you do that without saying any names. She didn't listen to me anyway. She even did some drops from my show, and she didn't even listen to those. So, but it's cool. I understand. It's like I'm not for everybody. I get it. I get it now. What site are you seeing this? I don't see I don't see that among many posts. I see it all the time. Women bashing men continuously. Now that she's got a boyfriend, it's like, no more man bashing. I got a man now. Here's my man here. I'm with my man. My man, my man, my man. Before that, it was like, no man, no man, no man. But, to be honest, I'm happy for her. I really am, because, up until then, she was man bashing left and right. This must be a particular person. Yes, it is. Absolutely. So I am happy for her. I'm happy that she found someone, that appreciates her. I get it. You know, I'm just a little jealous, and I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to find someone who appreciates me. Al told us about how you agreed to co-sign for loans for him. That's very nice. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But it like I said, I'm truly jealous. Not of him, but I'm jealous that she found somebody that, that completes her. I want that for myself. You know, as a matter of fact, I'd like to meet the guy. I really would. He has to be a pretty good guy to win her over, and I get it. And I just want somebody who gets me. A part of the original seven. That is Jesse Johnson, and I'm just a wanting you. Right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to Lady G. Thanks for checking in. Also to Lawana Trailer, she checked in early, and Mike Sugar D. Richardson. He's out of here. I think he's still down at the county. Yeah, I remember I was down at the county. I wasn't working there. I was just down at the county. And thanks to him for having my back when I was down at the county. Michael Sugar D. Richardson, my buddy for life. I tell you, we fuss and fight, but at the end of the day, it's just us left. So we got to be nice to each other before we leave this earth, because it's just us left. Everybody else didn't make it. Here are the Ebonies, and it's forever on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, and Greg Moore from Chicago's Soul to Soul. So if my credit wasn't jacked up, I would co-sign for a low for Al. Real talk. See, there you go, Troy. See, now. Greg Moore, while I got you on the line, I'm just curious. It's like every time I see pictures, from when we were at the brunch, it's like I'm not in any of them. I'm just a little concerned about that. I'm just, that's just me. Yeah, I'm just curious, and I don't want to be petty or anything, but, I'm just wondering, am I part of the M squad, or am I just like a, recruit? Like, somebody, is there a certain initiation that I have to go through to be, because I see, it's like, Junior and all the rest of them is then ain't no pictures of us together. Like, but that's okay. If I'm not cool, I understand. But I guess I have to be voted in, and I get it. And I ain't mad if I'm not, because I shout you guys out every night on the B-sides, because that's what I do. That's the kind of guy I am, whether I'm a part of you or not. It's like, because everybody likes to be a part of something. And I notice he's not answering, but it's okay. I get it. It's cool, Some people would rather not be in the M squad, and I get it. Are there some dues that I need to pay or something? Is there a monthly fee, or I'm just saying. But anyway, What are you saying, Lady G? Know your Pete off. Tell the truth because you know it. Everyone is M Squad. See, of course, that's the diplomatic answer. In other words, no, Al, you're not a part of the M Squad. Okay, it's cool. I get it. I understand. Like I said, some people don't, consider me, M Squad material. I remember when we were at what was that radio station? WHPK, and we had, I guess you could say that block on Thursday nights of the best music of your life. It was PJ, Gary Tyson, King George, and I can't remember the Caucasian guy's name, but that was the four of them. So that was first, second, third, fourth Thursday. I had fifth Thursday. Yeah. So, and of course, Gary Tyson was the head of that. So he was the program director for Thursday nights. So I got fifth Thursday. Or if someone, took off on their night, then I would, be called because, and then I would, but it's cool. I get it. I understand. It's cool. I'm gonna still come to the brunch regardless. So Vic Jackson, what's going on? But once again, I guess I have to be voted in. That whole thing. It's cool, And no, Lady G, I'm not pissed off. You're in about 6 out of 9 pictures. I'm, out of 9 pictures, I'm only in 6. Okay, it's cool. I get it. I understand. I'm not that knowledgeable about music. I just I just fake it till I make it. So it's cool. But yeah, that's the diplomatic answer. Everyone's M Squad, of course. Yeah. But once again, that's not going to stop me from shouting you guys out every night on the station. That Wayne was on, and of course, Greg said I didn't take the pictures. Okay. Once again, he's being very diplomatic. He's like, well, I didn't take all the pictures, so I don't know why you're not in all the pictures, Alan. It's cool. I ain't tripping. It is what it is. Because I remember we were at KD's funeral, and I was asked to step out of the picture. I was like, oh, okay. I'm stepping out of the picture. But it's cool, It kind of hurt me for like all of 3 seconds. It's like, oh, okay, I came to this man's funeral. I thought it was, but KD and I had our relationship, and you all had your relationship. So because I remember KD called me one night. Well, I take that back. He called me one day. This was back, a few years ago when he was still here with us. And we had the strangest conversation. And I don't mind saying this because, I know how close you all were. And I know how close he was to Wayne Fields. And he said, you are in that picture. Oh, okay. I just remember seeing John, Gary Tyson, you and El Genius, and Why can't I remember this man's name? Yeah, and the short light skinned guy. Anyway, but KD said to me, he said, I find myself picking up the phone and wanting to call Wayne. And I said, me too. Wayne would get off the air at 6 o'clock in the morning from working the overnight shift. Not only as, of course, the host of the B-sides, he would also engineer a talk show at night. And, and then go right into the B-side show. And, engineer whatever, I know, Greg, I'm not tripping. But Wayne used to call me when he got off the air. And Wayne would be, which I thought was strange, Wayne would be at a bar. How the hell did he find a bar open at 6 o'clock in the morning? Which I thought was just very, it was very odd that he would find a bar open that early in the morning. And we would have conversations, we talk about, everything from playing music to actually playing music. He was an excellent keyboard player. Excellent keyboard player. He played by ear. He played in church. And I didn't know how good he was on the organ until he would do these little videos while he was at his brother's church. Because I remember when we were at Mendel, he played guitar. And he had a Les Paul Gibson copy, this guitar. And it was like, he was just great on that. So when I saw him playing the church organ, I'm like, you played a church organ? Good Lord. But like I said, we would have conversations about everything from, spinning records to playing music, because we were both DJs, radio personalities, and musicians. And it's funny because the other night I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he says, I don't listen to the B-sides anymore. I said, why? He said, because you're not live. He said, I used to call the station, when you would fill in for Wayne, and I would listen to Wayne and call him. But I don't listen to it anymore because I know it's pre-recorded. And I was like, that's no reason not to listen to the show anymore, because Wayne is not here, because, no one's there live. It's like, that wasn't my thing. That was management. Management said I could not do production during the day and be at the station at night. They said, we ain't gonna pay you for no 12 hours. Bump that. From the album Identify Yourself, Hurry Up and Come Back from the OJs, right here on Bedtime Stories. That is one of my favorite OJ songs that was never a single. It was just an album cut. It was on the same album with I Want You Here With Me. So, yeah, that was one of those great albums by the OJs. Back in the day, that's all I did. I would buy albums. I would go to Metro Music and other places and just buy music. I remember when the album Honey by the Ohio Players came out. And I played it that night. I never will forget. I was doing a house party up the street from my house. And they asked me, hey, man, I know you got that sweet sticky thing. I said, I just bought it today. I got it. And I busted it out. Of course, you had to rub the plastic up against you or have a razor blade or whatever. Otherwise, you're going to cut yourself. And some of my albums still had the plastic on them, but I couldn't wait to open them up because the Ohio Players always had these gorgeous women on the inside of it. Like, oh, Lord, where did they find these women? I mean, they were drop dead gorgeous. Each and every album cover, especially Honey. Fire was a good one too, but they had some of the most gorgeous women on these album covers. I'm like, where did they find these women? They were just so beautiful. Anyway, foreplay is next after this. Here's the Queen and Do Right Woman. And I'll always love you. My soundproofing's falling down. Soundproofing's falling down. I'll put it right back up too. Yep, I'm gonna put it right back up. Yeah, and the poster inside the album, good Lord. Woo! I mean, every album cover, you wanted to meet these women, especially the one on the Honey cover. Yeah. I'm sure everyone has heard the story about that one or the lie that they told. The story was that, and it is a story and a myth, it's an urban myth that the lady died because she suffocated from all of the honey being on her. It was like, no, she did not suffocate. She did not die. As a matter of fact, she's of a certain age now. And of course, she doesn't look like that anymore. But they said on the song "Love Roller Coaster," you can hear her screaming at the end as they murder her. The scream is done by Billy Beck. And no, she didn't die. Angie Martin Turner, what's going on, sis? She didn't die. She was in their unsung episode. She's still living. She did not die. She did not suffocate from the honey. She did get stuck to the plexiglass, though, because with all the hot lights, the honey kind of bubbled up. And once the lights went dim, she was stuck. So they had to hose her down in order to get her unstuck from this plexiglass. The story was, and this is from Jimmy Diamond Williams himself. He said, my mother and father took one look at this album cover. He's like, is this why we sent you to school? Oh, yeah. The Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Do right woman, do right man. It is time to do the delivery dance from Grubhub. Da 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 da. Grubhub, a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis and Chicago, and the best music of your life.com, Chicago. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This gentleman hails from Natchez, Mississippi. He migrated up north, got with a band called Enterprise. He met with two guys. One was named Morris and the other one's named Prince. He met with them because they were about to form a group called The Time, based on flight time. They were going to be called The Time. This was an idea that Prince had. It was going to be an offshoot group from his own group, the Revolution. They were going to have their own persona. And he picked the best people from these two bands, Enterprise and Grand Central, both of them which he played for or knew people in there. Well, they needed a lead singer. So they met with this guy, Alexander O'Neill. After the meeting, Alexander was out and Morris was in. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis started a production company called Flight Time, based on the band that they played with. The first person that they hired to their production company was Alexander O'Neill, who was signed to Taboo Records. And the rest was history. Here's Alexander O'Neill in foreplay. This is If You Were Here Tonight. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, on Bedtime Stories. All right. And that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to warm up my tasty dinner that my sister cooked. And I shall return. So talk amongst yourselves, okay? Just for a while, just for a few minutes. Not back yet. Keep talking. Moana. This bed's too big for me to be alone. I'm back. Has anybody heard about the health warnings for Arizona tea in Chicago? It turns out the last large plastic containers were tainted with medical waste. Yeah, but it's so good though. But it's so tasty. It is delicious and nutritious. Yeah. Well, if I worried about what you said, Troy, half the stuff I wouldn't eat or drink, I tell you. Yep. But it's probably the only beverage that I can drink without falling out. Yep. Yeah, buddy. Yep, because it's not really, sugary. It's not sugary laced. And it makes you pee, yes. Yes, it does. That's the whole idea. It's almost like flavored water because there's not a lot of sugar in it. So, yep, and it's very good. And it contains ginseng. What's the worst thing that could happen to me? I could break my arm. That's about it. September 28th would have been Benny King's 84th birthday. How about that? How about that? Try the Paul Newman iced tea. Their lemon flavor is delicious. When are you going to come over and get your gift? It's going to be on Saturday. Kevin Brooks, what's going on, sir? I only have 2 days off, Monday and Saturday. Maybe I can come sometime next week. How big of a gift is it? Troy, you're funny, man. You should have been a comedian. Kevin Brooks, what's going on, sir? Good to see you. Greg Moore, check your phone and your inbox. Checking my phone and my inbox right now, sir. Well, look at there. I am in that photo. Yep, I sure am. Because John Caldwell's standing behind me. Yeah. But I didn't see that picture. But I see it now. Yeah. But thank you, Greg. I'm just pulling your leg, sir. Just IMK when you're coming. Whatever that means, I don't know. So you're typing too fast, Lady G. I don't know what that means. Just imp when you're coming. Imp. IMK. Imp. But I'm going to post this picture too. I'm going to post it. Because sometimes I feel like I've ousted temptation. Dude, I just do. I feel like I'm an ousted temptation and I can't come back. Oh, let me know. That's what that means. Okay. I just found out what was it SMH, man. LOL, HMH. Like, what? HMH, what? Oh, shaking my head, laughing out loud. Let me know. Mm-mm. Yeah, I ain't hip to the hip talk. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Forgot to include the late Sean Levert. His birthday was also on September 28th. Thank you, Kevin Brooks. Now, this is information that they don't give when you go to Black celebrities' birthdays. You don't see any of this. You know, they never have this information. You know, I don't know why, but well, I know why because excuse my language, but it's a half-ass website. You know, show all the black people, not just Chris Brown and Drake. You know, who cares? You know, it's Chris Brown's birthday. It's Drake's birthday. The only thing I like about Drake is his uncle Larry Graham. Otherwise, I could care less about Drake or Chris Brown or any of those half-ass singers. You know, they all sing through these machines to make them sound better. You know, it's like if you sing, just sing. If you can't sing, just don't sing. T-Pain made a whole career out of trying to sing. Roger, who couldn't sing, we knew he couldn't sing. Without the voice box, he couldn't sing. But we knew that. He wasn't trying to fake it either. You know. But when we actually heard what he sounded like, it was like, yeah, you keep singing through that thing. Keep that tube in your mouth. But yep, some of the websites, they don't include any of our people on there. They say, black celebrity birthdays. There's only like maybe 6 of them. And Idris Elba. Like, okay. But no one else. Just Idris Elba. No. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. There I go on Facebook again. I'm getting angry. I'll be crying. Did you ever see Benny King perform? Only on television. I saw him, Chuck Jackson, Al Green. It was him, Chuck Jackson, Al Green. Yep. Benny King, Chuck Jackson, Al Green. Yeah. And there was one other guy. And by that time, Benny's voice was shot. You know, it was just, ooh. I saw his brother Bernard King lose to the Detroit Pistons in the playoffs. Mm-mm. Happy Feelings by Frankie Beverly and Maze. Maze. Food was pretty good, Angie. Thank you. You know, it's not often as a bachelor that I get a home cooked meal. Uh-huh. Happy Feelings. Happy feeling in the air. Oh, there it is. Cool. Woo. we straight, Greg. I'm just pulling your leg, man. I'm just pulling your leg, man. Jeez. Just don't let Gary Tyson hear you say that because, you know. Yeah, we straight. Yeah, for a long time, Gary Tyson couldn't stand me. You know. But he played my drops every Thursday on his show. You know. It's the best music of your life on 88.3 WHPK with Gary Tyson. I cooked chicken and noodles with sweet peas today. I got enough to share. Hey! And I got room to eat too. Trust me. You know, I don't turn nothing down. I turns nothing down. I went to, you remember Morris's on Ashland? Tell me about it. Yeah. Once again, don't let Gary hear you say that because, you know, he's the, you know. But between you and me, when I was doing Fifth Thursday on WHPK, ooh, my patties and shepherd pie. Ooh, yeah, yummy. Gary told me, he said, Al, you okay, but you don't go, you don't go deep enough. I was like, huh? And I was like, oh, okay. He said, you don't go deep enough for me. Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm like a fake temptation. I'm not like, I'm like, I'm like Damon Harris. I'm not really Eddie Kendricks. I'm like uh I'm like Richard Street. I'm not, like Paul Williams. So, I'm a replacement. So I was like, oh, okay. No man, you don't go deep enough for me. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I think. I think we all grew up listening to the same people. Herb Kent, Jim Rags, Richard Pegee, McKee Fitzhugh, you know, you know, Richard Stams, I'm sorry. All those, I think we all grew up listening to the same people and we all tried to, we tried to imitate those people, and there's it's no secret that, Herb was my idol. It's no secret about that. Um, it's no secret that I tried to follow in his footsteps. It's no secret. So for someone to say I don't go deep enough, I'm like, okay, all right, well, you know, I understand. I get it. I think. You don't go deep enough. I'm like, okay, all right. I get it. It's cool. There's a key for every lock. That's why it's called diversity in music. And like I said, I would, I would get upset. I'm like, okay, first of all, how many times do we have 5 Thursdays in a month? So, every month I would get bumped. But then when there was 5 Thursdays, man, I put my foot in it. I'm like, because I know I'm not going to get another Thursday for another year or two. So it's like, oh man. So I really gotta, hit it hard. But I remember one night, and he's not on here now, but no dissing on him. But I filled in one night for Arkansas Red, aka Brother Fahim Manir. And I filled in for him one night. He, building a house down in Arkansas. I get it. So they asked me to come in and do the blues show. And I did. And once again, I put my foot in it. B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, Tyrone Davis, L.V. Wright. I mean, I ran the gamut. Johnny Taylor, I hit him hard. And I got a whole bunch of phone calls. They said, we hope that Arkansas Red never comes back. And, that wasn't what I was looking for. But doggone it, it made me feel pretty good. Because I considered him a legend. So for me to, be thought of in the same breath with him, like, oh, okay, cool. because I was, and the whole idea was not to hold on. It wasn't to show him up or anything. It was just to do a good job. So when he came back, he'd have a good show, or he'd have a show left when he got back. Really? Wrapping up foreplay. I played the same song twice. So sue me, Alexander O'Neill, when the party is over, right here on Bedtime Stories. With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Greg Moore said, there's nothing wrong with that, Al. Learn from the best. Herb, Kent, Richard, Peggy. I was told that I didn't know anything about music from Chicago, especially the impressions. Which is funny because Greg, wasn't your uncle named Eddie Thomas? Did you know Eddie Thomas, Greg? I'm just saying, Mr. Moore. Did you know Eddie Thomas, the godfather of Chicago music? One of them. The dean, of course, being Uncle Carl Davis, and so on and so forth. And I will say this about Carl Davis. And Carl had a great ear. Uncle Carl could hear stuff that we couldn't hear, but he can play a lick of music. He could not play any music to save his life, piano, whatever, but he knew talent. Thank you. Oh, your cousin. Okay. I knew you were related to Mr. Thomas, but I've got to say this. Carl Davis had one of the best ears, because before Tyrone Davis even stepped into a studio, they said that he could not sing. That was told to me by a very close source to me. It said he could not sing. I'm like, really? They said Tyrone would sing in the cracks of the piano. And then finally, with a few voice lessons and everything else, he could hear what everybody else, but he was basically hired because of his personality, because he was very outgoing on stage, whether he could sing a note or not. But he grew into being a great singer. He was a great performer, but not one of the greatest singers. Anyway, speaking of the impressions in Chicago music, let's play this one from the Impressions. Just One Kiss on Bedtime Stories. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Your eyes. Oh, surprised. Need is just one kiss from you. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom. That's a walker right there, buddy. One wish. Sight. Whoo, Johnny Pate put his foot in that. Damn. You good friends. Mhm. Romance. Mm. Need is just one kiss from you. All I need is just one kiss from you. All I need is just one. It's like a prayer. It's like a prayer. It's like a prayer. If this don't do it for you, nothing will. Lord knows I've been trying. Can I be your only man? Can I be your only man? Come on, Sam. I believe that you love me because you told me. Can't understand why. I don't understand. Day after day, treat me any old way. But my heart says no. But my love still remains. It says keep on trying, boy. She's gonna change. But it don't happen.
Been trying.
Lord knows. Y'all know me. Lord knows that I've been trying to understand why. Can I be your only man?
Can I be your only man?
Woo! Keep on trying. Woo! Woo! Songs that you don't hear on the radio anymore that Herb used to play on Sunday evening all day long. He was on from like 12 until 6, 7 o'clock at night. And he just ran the gamut between 60s and 70s and early 80s music, and you just don't hear it anymore. They have just turned their back on his legacy. But guess what? He lives in all of us. They can't keep that away. This is our legacy. This is our legacy. This is Chicago music. 2 in a row from the Impressions. I've been trying. Lord knows I've been trying. They started off as a 5-man group. Richard and Arthur Brooks, Fred Cash, Sam Gooden, he joined, and of course, Jerry Butler and Curtis Mayfield. Curtis was the mastermind behind the whole thing. He wrote all of those beautiful songs, except for Your Precious Love, which was written by Jerry himself. Even after Jerry left the group, Curtis continued to write songs for him. Hit songs, not just no mediocre, average, everyday songs. He don't love you. If he did, he wouldn't break your heart. I mean, he kept writing songs. Curtis Mayfield, what can I say about him? Motown had Smokey, but we had Curtis. We're going to play some Curtis Mayfield music before we get out of here. Right now, by request for Luana, Maze featuring Frankie Beverly on Bedtime Stories. Happy feeling, happy feeling. Mm-mm. Yep, they tried to kill that man's legacy. But guess what? They can't. You know, they got to kill all of us. They got to kill all of us off. You know, Rags, PJ Willis, Ray Neal, they got to kill us all. Reggie Miles, they got to annihilate all of us. And even still, there's going to be another generation that's going to come up and they're going to play Herb and Richard's music. They're going to play Rags music. There's no stopping it, you know. Any monkey can do that Sunday show. Any monkey can do the show. But you got to know the music. And I say that all the time. You know, they don't like me because I speak the truth. And they sit up and listen to me and look at me night after night. And they just, Herb is probably turning in his grave right now because of the host of his show. You know, old school Sunday ain't no old school. There is none. You know, you'll never hear the Cadillacs played on Sunday ever again. You'll never hear that. He used to play Girlfriend by the Cadillacs like it wasn't, like he's trying to resurrect them. You'll never hear Major Lance's music. You'll never hear Walter Jackson's music ever on Sunday on that station. You'll never hear that music ever again. And it's sad. It really is. You know, I'm choosing my words carefully because I know they listen to me. But hear me out. You all are doing Herb's legacy an injustice by what you all have done to that show. You know, and that's the main reason why they wouldn't hire me, because I'm not down with Tupac and Biggie. That's not my old school. You know, don't get me wrong. I don't, you know, I love Hypnotized by Biggie. You know, I love I Get Around by Tupac. But they have managed to just make a mockery of his, you know, of his legacy. It's just like, I mean, my thing is just take the show off. Just take it off, because it's awful. It is awful. You know, it's just awful. You know, it's anyway. They want to talk about us old schoolers, but yet at the same time they want to borrow tracks from our music and our generation. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about what they've done to the Sunday show that was once the number one show on that station. Her was beating Steve Harvey. It ain't no secret. You know, when they had the book signing with Steve Harvey and Herb Kent, didn't nobody want to didn't nobody want Steve's book. They wanted the 9 lives of the cool gent. That's what they wanted. They didn't want no Steve Harvey book. Steve Harvey didn't pay no dues. He's paying them now, but they didn't want Steve Harvey's book. They wanted Herb's book. And I don't blame them. You know, I don't blame them. And I just don't understand. And it's not for me to understand. You know, that was a programming decision that they made. That was a programming decision that they made not to hire me. And here's why: because they couldn't control me. So we're not going to hire him. Oh, you're punishing me because I'm cut from the same cloth as those guys. You know, oh, I'm too old to host a show. Oh, I'm not hip enough to host a show that was hosted by someone who wasn't hip, who was hip back in the 60s and 70s. But I get it. I understand. You know, because I'm a programmer too. You know, I am a programmer too. I've helped stations get on their feet. And, you know, it's a good thing that I know as much as I do. Because I learned from the best. Richard was a program director. Richard was a music director. Richard was a production director. I can do all of that stuff. If they hired me at any station, they'd have to fire 3 people just to pay me one salary, because they'd have to get rid of them, because why keep someone who already does production like I do? Why hire a music director when I can program the music? And so on and so forth. But their decision to go with whom they went with, okay. He thinks he knows everything, jealousy. And that's just it. You know, that show will never be number one again. They should just take it off. You know, Old School Sunday was a show that me, Ramonski, and Tornado hosted on GCI. And it was truly Old School Sunday because we played old school music. The only rap songs we played were Curtis Blow's The Breaks and Rapper's Delight. Everything else, and guess who used to program that show? This guy here. I programmed Old School Sunday myself. They don't know that I programmed that show. Ramonski Love, Tornado, and me. Elroy gave me carte blanche, and I picked the music. I would program the show at Ameritech on 86th and Stony Island. That's where I worked. And on Saturday, when I got a lunch break, I would sit there. I had the whole library. I had all the music on sheets of paper stapled together. and I had all the old school music, and I go through them, each one of them, and I put the number there, I put the name of the song, I put the artist, and how long the song was, and when we broke for commercials. I programmed that damn show. This guy here, Elroy, let me program that show. That was the only time me and Elroy even got along, when he let me program Old School Sunday. And Old School Sunday became one of the most popular shows on GCI on a Sunday because of the combination of the two hosts and this guy here who programmed the music. I'm not making this up. I'm not. I just don't go around bragging about what I know and who I know and, how I know what I know. But if it weren't for Richard Pegee and Herb Kent and Jim Rags and Bobby OJ, I would not be here. I wouldn't be doing this. And another person was Jim Rags. I remember one night I was like, I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. I said, I can't even get hired by 1063, the low station on the totem pole. I said, they won't even hire me. And I said, I'm going to give up. I'm going to hang up my headphones and I'm through. I was sitting outside. I never will forget it. I was sitting outside my church on 51st and Halstead. Since then, we've moved twice. We're on 99th and Winston. But I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm through. They have killed my spirit. I don't want to be on the radio anymore. And I got a call from Jim Rags. And Rags said, keep doing what you're doing, Al. There's nothing wrong with you. And everything is wrong with them. He said, you have a great voice. And you had excellent teachers. He said, me included. It was Rags that talked me down off the ledge because I was about to end it. Two in a row from Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. When you love someone. Yep, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for listening to me. Well, actually, not just the music, but they are listening to me rant on Facebook. So, and I still have like 9 people still watching me, which is kind of cool because they can't hear the music. What they do is, like most people do, they have the music playing in another part of the house. And then, of course, they're on their phones or tablets watching me. Do people still use tablets? I think I'm the only one. But they listen to the music in one side of the house on a computer or whatever. And then they use their phones to go on Facebook Live, which is cool. I like that. Thank you. That way they can hear the music and they can hear me talk stuff. Doing what I do best. This guy was a part of one of music history's best backing bands ever. Steve Cropper, Donald Duck Dunn, the incomparable Al Jackson Jr. on drums, and this guy on organ, Booker T. This is Treasure Chest on Bedtime Stories. Was everywhere Ooh, ooh, I love this song. Booker T put his foot in it. There it goes again. I knocked it over again. But it didn't break. It's a sturdy little piece of plastic. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Jealousy, envy, misery. You can't see behind smiling faces. I sing like a nightingale. Like a nightingale. Woo, I love this song. This song, this was a backward skate for the ladies at Roll Arena back in the day. Yes. Just and quiet. Oh, I love you. Baby, I need it. Mhm. 1,000,000 miles from the ground. And Tits McGee, yes. Thank you. A couple of Fridays ago at the Taste Entertainment Center reunion, it was presented to me. It's very authentic looking. It's got a switch on the mic and everything. It's got, looks like where it's been screwed in and everything. See, got a little switch on the top of the mic. And it, actually, if you look at it, it's very detailed. It looks like a real microphone. Dr. Al Greer. Thank you. That song always brings me to tears every time I play it. Dexter Wanzel from the album Life on Mars, 1 Million Miles from the Ground. That's going to do it for me, Al Greer. Thank you so much for staying up with me. To Lady G, Troy Anthony, Greg Moore from Chicago Soul to Soul, and a member of the M Squad. Vic Jackson, who was on earlier, and just everybody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all for listening to me rant and rave like I normally do. All right. I appreciate you. We'll do it again tomorrow, right here on Bedtime Stories. Till next time, blue skies, green lights, and peace. Good night, Miss Delicious. Oh, yeah, Kenesha Fox, too. Good night. Chef Fox. All right, ladies and germs. Appreciate you all. Oh, my sister from another mister, Angie Martin Turner, who was on earlier. Lawana Trailer. Greg Moore, once again, thank you, sir. I was just pulling your leg about M Squad. Kevin Brooks, thank you. Kevin Brooks said September 28th would have been Benny King's birthday. We got to do something about that. Who else? Luana. Yeah, Luana. I'm going back in the messages. Luana said it's 6 out of 9 pictures I was in. Mike Sugar D. Richardson, hope to see you soon, man. Come by and check out the studio. And once again, Kenesha Fox, Reggie Hill, thank you so much. TC, DJ Carl Dobbins, DJ Will Jacks. Will Jacks for food. Preston Shanks, thank you so much. Will Jack's wife loves him. She crazy about him. She will not look at another man. I'm like, why can't I find somebody like that? Anyway, good night, everybody. Sweet dreams, and once again, we'll do it again tomorrow here on the internet. Thank you so much. Peace out.